refer to you as DT. Is that okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Well, DT, thank you so much for coming back in to review, excuse me, your assessments and treatment plan with me. It was really interesting, some of the information that I found when going over your assessments. So I'm going to share some of those with you. And if you have any questions at any time, please don't hesitate to stop me. The first thing I want to do is share with you what my summary was. And my summary was basically that with your current feelings of anxiety that are affecting your concentration and sleep and decision making, I feel like those are rooted from your childhood experiences, from basically what you shared with me during those assessments and the biopsychosocial assessment that we did. I feel like the information you gave me about always feeling like you weren't good enough for your dad and that he was always very demanding, that you're still feeling that. I feel like that's where it's coming from. What do you think about that?
I agree. I can see where that's coming up and a part of my life now still.
Okay, good. And I want to go over a patient health questionnaire that you took. We calculate the scores based on where you put your answers, and you will get a score of 0, 1, 2, or 3 based on if you put your answers not at all or all the time. PHQ-9 score was a 10, and your GAD score was a 10. So what this concludes, and this just concludes that you have the moderate anxiety severity. And you scored a perfect score on the mini mental status exam. So you're there mentally. You are very aware of what's going on around you and what's going on in the present day.
Okay.
Your sleep hygiene index score, the SHI that you took, it showed that you have normal sleeping practices, and because your score was 11 out of 52. Now, the higher the score, the more problem you have with sleeping. The lower the score, the less problems you have with sleeping.
Seems like a pretty low score.
It is. I think it's a low score, and I think it's a good score. So I think that you are resting and getting the adequate amount of sleep that you need.
Good.
Your strengths and difficulties questionnaire scored borderline on the hyperactivity scale. Like we shared, you said sometimes you can't just sit still. You feel your muscles jerking in your legs, and you have problems with that.
Right.
And it did score abnormal on the emotional problems scale. And this I related to the information that you shared with me about making a lot of friends, but feeling like you never have time for them. You feel like you're going to let them down. So you feel like that there's that stress.
Right.
Of you
it's
not
almost
being
more work to be friends than.
Right. You want those
Right.
relationships, but you feel like you're not able to keep up your end of the bargain. Okay. And then we get to the biopsychosocial assessment. So, as I stated before, this shows histories of anxiety-related issues since you were a child. But your assessment did confirm your positive family support, which I'm really excited about for you. You have a lot of positive family support. You did show on your genogram where the depression started with your great grandmother and your grandmother and your mother on your mother's side of your family. So there is a line there of depression. And then on your father's side of the family, it showed more instability, such as behaviors that your dad was portraying to you, that he was being very aggressive and authoritative, and you felt like you were never good enough, right? Growing up. Although your relationship with him is good now.
Right.
Okay. So what I conclude from this report is that you are feeling you're deficient in maintaining meaningful relationships, but that's really not the reality. Now, one connection I made here is that when you reported feeling like that you lack communication skills with your spouse, and that the two of you have challenges and difficulties communicating, and you feel like you're not good enough for him, I saw a connection between him and your father. Your father was demanding and critical, lacking empathy and understanding through your years of growing up. Your husband, you stated as having a narcissistic tendencies, which contribute to your feelings of worthlessness.
Right.
So what kind of connection do you see there?
They're very, very similar.
Yeah, that's what I see as well. And so I feel like you know, you've got a good relationship with your father now, so I know there's hope with your
Okay.
marriage.
Yeah.
Right, absolutely. So, your feelings of restlessness, difficulty concentrating, and the irritability and emotion tension, all this has a name. And the name that I believe it is connected with is from our DSM, called generalized anxiety disorder.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, what does that mean exactly? Well,
Yeah. Should I be concerned?
no, not at all. It's very treatable.
Okay.
And it's quite common. In this disorder, we want to set some goals.
Okay.
And so, based on our conversation last time, I typed up some of the goals that we talked about.
Okay.
So let's go over them and see if they meet if you think they're going to meet your needs. Our first goal, which is a short-term goal, would be that you will decrease your anxiety symptoms by 50% for 1 month, with the target date of April the 20th. Okay. At which time you're going to focus on reducing your current anxiety by another 50% for a period of 1 month. So we're looking at 2 months out. Is that something you feel like you can do?
Yes. I think that the goal is achievable, the time frame is achievable.
Let's talk about how we're going to do that.
Perfect.
You can meet with a counselor to participate in structured talk therapy that focuses on conscious thoughts, because if we keep your thoughts conscious and to the forefront and you're aware, you can make sure that they're the thoughts that you want to have, the positive thoughts that you want to have. So you'll complete the mindfulness techniques that we're going to go over shortly to focus on your thoughts and keeping them positive and your current state of well-being. You'll do focused breathing activities and stretching exercises. You said you really like to stretch and walk and exercise.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you think that those activities will help you reach that goal?
Yes, they sound relaxing. They seem like it'll get my mind focused where it needs to be.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And then then the next activity I think that would go along well with this would be an activity where you would dim the lights, you would turn on some music, get about 15 minutes to yourself, and focus on your breathing for 2 minutes, followed by stretching for 2 minutes.
Really just
And then
taking time for me.
Yes, to repeat this cycle as many times as you need to.
Mm-hmm.
And as you can see, it's really a 5-minute cycle, so you don't need much time at all to complete this cycle 3 or 4 times. And this should help bring you back to where you need to be in that moment
Okay.
to further help you complete that goal.
Okay.
The next goal is that you will increase your feelings of self-worth with your spouse, resulting in positive interactions 6 out of 7 days a week over the course of a 2-month period. And we're going to do that based on a self-rating scale that you'll use.
Okay.
And I can show you how to use it, and you'll go in and you'll click the little boxes at the end of the week and kind of see where your anxiety levels have been.
Okay.
And then we'll go over those when we meet. So how will this look? Just like we talked about before. Spend quality alone time with your spouse each evening, up to about an hour, while talking, taking a walk, and or playing a game, or while preparing dinner. You said those are some of the things that you feel like that you can do
Right.
in a positive manner. What do you think about that?
It sounds like things that already fit into my normal schedule, so it's not going to be, I could focus on the effort of just good quality time rather than the activity.
Absolutely, and I think that's what is really most important in order to reach that goal. Now for our long-term goals. Our first long-term goal, you will reduce your overall frequency and intensity of anxiety to increase work and relationship productivity. This way you're not sitting and worried about all these things while you're at work, or you're not bringing work home.
Good. Yes.
So how to do that? That exercise plan we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
You'll develop an exercise plan, exercise 4 days a week for 2 hours a day,
Yep.
or 5 days a week for an hour a day, with half of the exercises each day being cardio, whether it's riding a bicycle, running, power walking, treadmill, or doing some kind of a cardio class at the local fitness center. And in addition to this, keeping a daily exercise chart, awarding yourself points. You get to give yourself points. You give kids points all day.
Right.
But what can you do with these points? Well, here's what you can do. At the end of the week, you're going to calculate those points. And you're going to earn and reward yourself with a fun, enriching activity, such as those important things you told me you love to read a book, going for a coffee treat, or shopping at your favorite store.
That's
Simple
awesome.
things. Right. So how do you feel about that goal and that objective helping you reach that goal?
It's a nice incentive.
think
It's
so?
a super nice incentive.
Do you think that's something you can maintain?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe with a little encouragement.
A little encouragement, yes.
And then your second goal, we're going to increase your feelings of self-worth and develop positive inter- and intra-social relationships, those relationships at home and at work. So, and we're to the last thing here. You will locate and join a local support group for anxiety within your church, because you said your church is very important to you. And you'll attend these meetings regularly and interact with people who are sharing these same challenges, similar anxiety difficulties, and see how that helps you cope with those worrisome thoughts.
Okay.
And that approach will be, you're going to keep an anxiety journal. You'll spend about 15 minutes a day reflecting on anxious moments you had during the day. And you're going to write about it. And then you're going to note how you were able to get through those anxious moments and duration of that episode. Finally, you can share these journal entries with me during your counseling sessions, and we will also complete an anxiety scale after about a month, which will repeat in 1 month intervals to see your progress.
Okay.
How does that feel?
Well, the local support group was a little concerning at first because it seems scary, but I like the idea of doing it within my church community where I feel comfortable.
And that's why I thought about your church community, because I know you had some social anxiety issues. So these are people you already know.
They loved me.
Right.
Yes.
Exactly.
So I needed a way to branch out.
Yeah, absolutely. And the techniques using are these cognitive behavior therapy techniques that we use to help change the way we think. So, do you have any questions?
No, I think this looks good. I'm excited.
Okay. Well, I'm very excited, and I'm excited to help you get on your way to recovery.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I need to redo something.